First thing is first, because I need to be able to see. Time for this is a little weird. I mean, in-game time counts mostly. Keep forgetting, gotta have the Wii remote pointed away from the screen for all menuing. I still don't know if flashlight lag has any sort of impact on in-game timing. But that's why I run with the light off most of the time. It's not enemy detection, it's lag. At least you can skip the cutscenes? Yeah, that's a fair point. But what's weird is that some of the cutscenes or, like, bits of dialogue, you can't just skip once. You have to hit skip, like, 4 or 5 times to get past it. I actually played the Japanese version of this recently. And I'd always heard that, like, Eidos made some changes to improve the Western release and took that kind of tongue-in-cheek. But holy shit, the Japanese version's a lot worse. There is so much lag on your inputs in that version. By the way, sorry if you still can't see anything. I tried. I cranked up the brightness. I put a filter over the stream to try and make it more watchable. Can't quite remember where all these traps are, so I'm like paranoid I'm gonna fall into one of them. I always want to, like, make a hockey joke when it says you lit the lamp. But I never come up with anything good.
try explaining it in English this time?
Okay, the English voices are on. I thought for a moment I forgot. Although, even if you turn it to Japanese voices, Ray's in-game clips when he like picks up an item or attacks an enemy are still in English. I only found that out recently.
That might be useful.
Oh, hey, Joe. How's it going? I'm here. It's probably a good thing they didn't decide to use this as an emergency backup game. For two reasons. One, even with the brightness cranked up, it's still kind of hard to see. And two, this is like one of several Wii games I play standing up. So they'd have to rearrange their streaming setup a bit. I was hoping he would bash on the tree. That move wastes so much time. All right, good. Okay, sorry if I'm not looking at the chat much. There's basically the loading between levels where I have the chance to do that. Yeah, Japanese name is Necronesia. Escape from Bug Island was just something they threw together for the English version. Oh yeah, this game is M-rated. I forget sometimes. But you know, according to the back of the box, it is the creepiest survival horror game for the Wii. Because at the time it was the only one. Okay, what are the caterpillars going to do now? Oh, good pattern. Sometimes I have to dodge roll through one of them. Every time I have to adjust my hands or like my position holding the controller, I have to be really careful because if I move too suddenly, he'll dodge roll. Thankfully, that text does not appear in New Game Plus. Do I have a Wii Zapper? I've never used the Wii Zapper. Okay, you probably couldn't see it, but we got key item number 1. The game is brighter on my TV, and I still had trouble seeing that. For those of you who missed it, I cranked the brightness almost all the way up on this game, and it still looks like this. I wonder if there will ever be a time when there's a distinction in categories between easy, normal, and hard. Because there's not really much different between the two. 3, God. It is one of those days for me. I can't even count. Like, the balance area is smaller. There are slightly more enemies. And that's kinda it. Oh, you used to have one? I never got one just because I knew I would get tired of, like, putting the Wii Remote and Nunchuck into it and then taking it out for different games. So I just learned to adapt. I screwed myself up with that menuing. Okay. Is he gonna do it? He did it. Alright, let's see if the hitbox for the vines cooperates. Okay, good. I was doing that yesterday, working up a New Game Plus file, and for whatever reason, I just could not hit the vines, even though I was standing directly in front of them. Was that a locust? It's supposed to be a cockroach. Ah, I was hoping it wouldn't do that. Those toads always worry me in this area. Oh, another thing about the Japanese version, the gorilla is more aggressive. It'll spend a longer time trying to chase you down instead of just going away after a bit. Go. Don't know why there's a massive delay on that. Yep, I was expecting that. Well, I think damage is slightly higher in normal and hard too, but I haven't really noticed. Okay, will we make it across? Oh, that barely missed. Oh, come on. The hitboxes for the plant traps are really weird sometimes. You'll swear you're going off to the side of it, and then it just says, you know what, close enough. Oh, just for the record, the bug spray that I'm using right now, effective against most enemies in the game. Even though it says, like, the labels for ants, you can use it on the flies, the mantises, the cockroaches. I almost forgot which way I was going. Although the spray on the... Ah, god damn it. I want to turn the light on, but that can cause the game to lag. Ah, jeez, I was just turning in place and that happened. On the plus side, regenerating health. Which, as we all know, is a staple of survival horror. Oh yeah, if you look up before getting the jar of honey, there are no spiders anywhere in the home. But then they just pop in. Oh, that spider almost blocked the exit. Oh yeah, the bonus conditions aren't in the Japanese version at all. Can you kill it? You can kill pretty much everything that moves in this game. Oh, I'm skipping cutscenes, but I'm not skipping Mike on the bridge. Because it's an Oscar-worthy moment, and you should all experience it with me. Oh yeah, I forgot. The gorilla roar is like the same sound the Doom grunts make. Okay, unfortunately I need these little bastards. I need at least 12. That's 4. You know, what's making it worse for me right now is it's a pretty nice day out. Sun is coming through the blinds, and it's creating a bit of glare on the TV. So even though it's usually brighter on the TV, I'm kind of in the same boat as all of you watching. If anyone is watching, I don't know why you would. See.
Heck yeah!
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
That might be useful.
Nope, look down. 12. I'll probably get a couple more insurance ones at the top of the hill. Oh yeah, in case you don't know, if those ants run into you, they explode. I just don't want to get 20 because that triggers another bonus objective. Forgot how huge the blast range on that was. Alright. Oh. Gonna equip the ant bombs now, because I am not going to deal with all these little spiders. So Mike is dangling from the bridge, and the spider is like laying in wait for us. It's using Mike as bait, basically. Okay, here we are.
Mike, no!
Yeah, that was worth the time loss. Oh, the gorilla? Well, technically the game says you can kill the gorilla. It's actually a bonus objective to kill it. But when you kill it, it doesn't slump over and die. It jumps into the sky and never comes down. The whole reason it does that is you're supposed to fight it later. But they never thought, what if they actually try to kill it before the... It just flies away. Now for something else that is not an insect. That should get rid of the swarm. Yes, although the moth caused the game to lag a bit. This is why I have the light off the whole time, because this game lags very easily. Wait, that's the wrong one. Shit. Oh, she's gonna be waiting there for me, isn't she? Oh yeah, if you see me going into first person really fast, it's because that's the same button for picking up items. Aw, she really liked that wooden post.
Heck yeah!
You know, I realized it was off camera, but I like to think the caterpillar just rolled right into the lizard woman. So, check out the barn that we just unlocked. Nice, huh? So, this is the giant worm fights, where you're not actually supposed to fight it. Same thing happens if you fight it, as opposed to just running directly for the cave. They show up, they both die. Moving on. Although I always found it weird that only one character in this game has a last name, and it's not the main character. Oh yeah, Devil Kings. I actually have that. Okay, I'm gonna keep the light off except for this part. It didn't happen. Enemies can see the light through the walls, and it'll sometimes aggro them, and do just the beginning musical sting of the panic score. You like this running sound? You're gonna hear it a lot in this stage. Now here there's actually a good reason to have the light off. If you're walking around the full maze looking for items, there's a swarm of bugs that is attracted to light and is a one-hit kill. And the hint for it is placed like close to the beginning of the game where you don't encounter any of them. I think this was the level I did the second most times when I did the segmented run all those years ago. Just because there are so many instances here where the enemies can path around in a way that completely blocks off your path. Oh, I should hold up the Wii Remote to the microphone every time I do that. Because all of Mike's little and sounds play through that. Yeah, well, people gotta contribute to cutting room floor. Gotta fix that. I didn't notice it until I really closely looked at it, but they couldn't do the animation for an item appearing on the ground and the nest breaking apart at the same time. So the item just appears shortly after. Ah, this game is jank. So, I skipped the cutscene, but Michelle is actually in one of the rooms in this hallway. But for whatever reason, Mike just won't go into it. Then Michelle runs out here, encounters Gorilla Man. By which I mean Gorilla. Okay, good. No? There's a very specific path you have to go through, and he just happened to block it. Usually I want him to throw a boulder. Wait, is there a cutting room floor page for this game? Like this or the Japanese version? Because I'd be curious to read that. As the saying goes, if this is what they kept in, what got cut? Those rocks do knock you off if they hit you. But if you just charge forward right away and don't stumble, you won't get hit by anything. No flies, good. Ah, I hit the wrong button. Now the most annoying part of the run. So yeah, she stops every time a spider gets near her. She also stops if you get too far away from her. Or sometimes her pathing will just make her run in a giant circle, and then she'll stop. Like that, for instance. Okay, so you find this symbol, bunch of rocks fall, Beelzebub reveals itself, and Beelzebub is just a giant bug. Also, the island is called Beelzebub. You get knocked into the glowing pit. So basically everybody dies and then you die, except you come to and you're back at the camp. And you have Michelle's bag key because she gave it to you before she died. So now you get to play the whole game over again. But this time, we're going to correct the timeline.
Hey, what's this?
Okay, do I do the menuing now or later? I might as well do it now. I'll have to eventually. Beelzebub, get out. Although I admit I did call it Beelzebug at one point. Oh, working designs, yeah. I had some GeoCities pages that looked nicer than that. So for this, I can't just destroy the mantis nest right away. If I do, and then I try to play things out like before, it respawns. So
Try
this time you go to
explaining
these
it in
guys first.
English this
They tell you to destroy the mantis nest, and then they can get away. I'm trying not to make a habit of switching weapons too often, because as you've seen, the game stutters a bit when I do that. Okay, that wasn't registering. Great. Thanks for eating my throw input, and we're out. Oh, wait, I should keep the rocks up. I think so far I'm just stunned he didn't fall into any of the pitfall traps in this area. So you say it's all good, and then the gorilla rips the roof off the home and grabs Harry.
You guys.
Doesn't matter where you hit the gorilla, just hit him somewhere and he'll drop Harry. So that part of the timeline is saved. Although Harry's like one of the least likable people in the game. Who happens to be voiced by the same guy that voices Robert and Ray, who raised the main protagonist. 6 voice roles in the entire game. They could only find 3 people to do them. Okay, that's one of the few times that the dodge thing didn't register. Okay, log. Holy shit, we got the magic log. Usually you get bit at the very least once going through that. Ah! So that fly was circling me, then despawned, then respawned. Okay, let's go for it. There you are. Sometimes that guy will go after you while you're on the log and then cause you to fall off. Don't need to fall into the pit this time. I should swap weapons now, because I actually need this to get through the second vine path. I forgot I made the spray the primary and the machete the secondary. Oh, that's another thing you couldn't do in the Japanese version. You couldn't have secondary weapons, so you'd have to go into the menu every single time. This is going to be a mess. Dodge roll through it, and we're good. Oh, sorry, Opox, I didn't see that before. Yes, I'm playing this again. Because there is uncharted territory to hit with it. There are lizard women in the water, but they're very polite and will not knock you off. That key is for a shack coming up. I really hope she didn't stop on the bridge. That's the worst thing that lizard woman can do.
Heck yeah.
Where is she? Oh good, she's alongside the bridge. That's not so bad. Oh, of course. They bite me here, but they don't bite me crossing through that log full of them. Don't know if my mic's picking this up, but... Okay. One shot at glory. Good. By staying in the water, you skip a cutscene. We're on a decent pace right now. I think. I can't remember, really. Yeah, let's try and kill a couple 8-legged oversized birds with one stone. Or rather, one exploding nest. Great camera angle. I hate killing those things, but I really don't want them to interrupt me during the fight. So, time to save Mike. Have the flashlight on just to see what I'm doing. Are you kidding me? That didn't hit? Okay. Got him. Got a bad pattern because he kept jumping backwards at one point. Look away for 1 second and Ray gets stuck on something. Giant worm might ultimately determine how this run goes. Fun fact, if you kill like a lizard woman with a Molotov cocktail, the swarm of bugs won't go after it. Because they don't like well done food, like most sane people. I'm hitting all the plant traps today. Okay, fingers crossed. Health is a lot lower than I would like for this. Are you kidding me right now? Where in the hell did he go? Oh, there he is. I'm gonna have to kite this thing a little bit. Okay, finally. He wasn't actually on the edge of the cliff, but it still counts. That is such an annoying fight. Alright, well that was probably the most difficult part of the run, so that's done with at least. Okay, let's see if it'll work here. Nope. Oh, we just got to the point where they were going to start jumping at me. If she did the lunge, she might have got me. Lizard woman was a little too passive. Oh, they're... fucking crickets are stonewalling me. Not getting me this time. Ah, Dune references. I should have expected one. I need to properly see Dune from start to finish. The one time I did it, I saw it in segments. It was for like a class thing I did in college.
Robert?
Goodbye, Robert Dallas.
I'll call for a helicopter. You bring her back here.
Alright, flashlight is coming on because I need to see what I'm doing for this. Walk around the edge to avoid a cutscene. Got it. Getting it that fast is worth the purple fragments. You read all the books? I haven't touched any of them. I should, though. That worm fight cost me all of my ant bombs. Not that I was planning to use them anyway. No flies. Shoo fly, don't bother me. Okay, now these flies will bother me. That's what I needed. How come there are so many flies in here? The spiders are not doing their job. Can ignore that one. Gotta get my handgun out. I gotta be careful about my placement on this, because sometimes Beelzebub just will not take damage if I'm too far to one side. So, boulder falls on its head. Michelle is saved. Well, after we put the gas mask on her. Because apparently there's some kind of gas that, like, deludes your senses and eventually kills you. But Ray's perfectly fine to be exposed to it for a little bit. Tricky part here is just making sure Michelle doesn't get stuck on anything, as she's prone to do. I question why this is even in the game. It seems like a really pointless segment, because all the enemies despawn. Flamethrower. Yeah, how come there isn't a flamethrower in this game? Closest we get is the Molotovs. Well, the important thing, comrade, is you caught it. You realized there was a mistake, and you corrected it. So this is all technically the same conversation, but it's split into 5 different parts. Three... 4... 5... Oh, it's more than that. 6... 7... 8... 9... Okay, we're finally done. I have no idea what kind of pace I'm on. Ow, I don't know if you heard that, but that was my shoulder. I'm just keeping the flashlight on through here and fighting all these enemies because flies are going to come after me as I'm doing this. And the flies are the main thing that will slow me down. Okay, I think that's the last of them. Yes, it is. Now, time to equip the only weapon that matters. Shotgun's got range. You know, I'll have to compare that with my previous time.
Michelle, wait!
You know what? Real time is faster. We'll see what in-game time says. Let's see, so summer game's done quick. I'm submitting this. This and 3 other games that will get rejected again. Michelle, no. And then Mike's scream plays anyway. $105.56. That is definitely faster. And it could be faster. But do I want to go through the effort?